Half a day, beautiful people. Happy Friday. I'm Becky Tovis and I am the Crafty Chamarita. I come to you live every Friday on Facebook, and I appreciate the fact that you're watching me, whether you're live or you're catching me on the replay. I hope that what I'm sharing with you provides inspiration for you to create. So today I've got an exciting, of course that always happens, sorry. I've got an exciting fun fold to share with you. Now, this fun fold at first glance may look a little bit complicated, but it's really not. It's actually quite easy, and it's one of those fun folds that when the recipient receives the card, they are just going to be wowed by it because of the impact, because there's layers to it, and it's something that you don't expect. So this is not a card that you would make for the everyday Joe. It really is something that you would create for somebody special. And so that was my thought process when I was coming up with this card, because I wanted to give something special to my mom and my sister for Mother's Day. So hopefully they'll enjoy it. Gosh, okay. I hope my internet is not too slow. I've been having trouble with the last few times, so I hope that it's okay. I see a prompt, but that's not it. So I'm crossing my fingers. Everything is okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So what I did was I pre-cut a lot of the stuff. That way you don't have to watch me cut things. But as I go through and I explain the pieces, I'll give the dimensions to you, and then I'll also give it to you in the description on the video. But before I do that, I want to give credit to the person that I cased this from, and that was Connie Stewart from the Simply Simple Stamping. When I saw her fun fold, I knew right away. I said, this is something that I want to try to copy and to make. So, all right. So let's start off by doing the base. So you're going to cut the base at 5.5 by 11. So the paper kind of looks like this, right? 5.5 by 11. Oh, it'll help if I turn the camera to my workspace so that you can actually see it. There's a little bit of delay. So what I'm seeing on my camera is a couple seconds after I talked about it. So this is how the paper looks, your cardstock. It looks like this, and you're going to cut it at the 5.5 mark. Okay. And you're going to notice there's a little piece over here where it's not quite fitting. That's okay, because this piece over here, once you cut the 5.5, you're going to use it for the inside piece. So don't throw it away. All right. So this piece here, oh, sorry, I forgot. Forgot to get my scoring tool. Told myself, make sure you don't forget it before I sit down, and of course I forget it, right? So this piece here, I hope I don't mess up my papers by doing this. This piece here ends up being 10 and 5/8. Okay. And we're going to do a lot of scoring. So this is the 5.5 by 11 piece, and I'm going to score it at 1.5, 4.25, 7.5, and 9.5. I just realized the top is not showing. Okay. Let me move it down so that you can see the score lines. All right. Then I'm going to take the smaller piece, and I'm also going to make some score marks here. So here I'm going to score it at 2 1/8. That's what these small lines are. So these are the 1/8 mark. This is the half. This is the quarter. So this is 2 1/8. This is going to be 4 1/4. 6 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. And 8.5. Okay. And that is done. Let's put this aside. And then I'm cutting I already pre-cut my pieces. So the way it's going to work, oh, you know what? Let me show you first so you have an idea of how it's going to be at the end. All right. So this is called a double accordion fun fold. So it opens up like this. Ta-da! And you can see that it's got a nice accordion look to it. Pretty, right? Oh gosh, love it. Okay, so that's how it's gonna look. Okay, so the pieces that are gonna go inside are gonna look like this. So quite obviously, your designer series paper is all going to be the same height. So this is all going to be 5 1/4, right? That's what you're going to put inside of it. And then for the dimensions for the other one, this is going to be cut at 3 3/4, 1 3/4. You're going to need 2 of them, and no, I'm sorry, 1 3/4. And 1 1/4, and then you're also going to need 2 that are 1 1/8. If you want to make these bigger, you can, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. All right, and then we're also going to need the cardstock that coordinates with this. This is going to be the layer that goes on top. So this is going to be 1 7/8 by 2 3/4, and you're going to need 5 of those because there's 5 panels here. Then you're also going to need a piece of cardstock, and this is going for the middle sentiment, and this is going to be 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and you score it at 2 5/8. So this is already scored here. And then you're also going to need some small pieces of white. So this one is 1 3/4 by 2 5/8. Right? And it depends on whether you're going to put it on the front, whether or not you need to cut 2 of these, 1 of these, or 2 of them. For the other cards that I did, I only needed 1 card. But for this one, I think I'm going to have to do 2 of them. Okay. It's easier to put, at least for me, it was easier to put the designer series papers down before I folded it. Okay. Wait, something looks off here. Wait, let me just double check this. 3 3/4. Sorry, let me just check this real quick, or else it's not going to work. This is the right amount. I think I must have scored this wrong. 1 1/2, 3 1/2. 1 1/2, 3 1/2. Let me grab this back. 1 1/2, 3 1/2, right over here. I did. I scored it wrong right over here. So what I'm going to have to do is let me go ahead and get a piece of cardstock, and let me do that part again. Because if I mess up on the score line, it's going to mess up on the accordion fold. So remember what I said this is going to be? This is going to be 5 1/2 by 11. So I'm just going to cut it at 5 1/2 mark. Move this aside. Let's score it again. This time, Becky, don't mess up. It's a good thing I caught that, or else I would have been totally in total disarray. So this is supposed to be at 1 1/2, 3 1/2, 7 1/2, and 9 1/2. This looks right. Okay. See what I mean? All right, there you go. And I'm going to go ahead and put on my panels. Just make sure that when you're using the designer series paper, that if it's directional, you're going in the right direction. And if it's not directional, you don't have to worry about it. And you're going to alternate it. your DSP. So one design will look like this, and the other design will look like this. Now, what you can also do is you can also flip this over and use the back side, right? I didn't like that. I didn't want to use that for the other side, so I got another designer series paper. So the 1 3/4 is going to go in the panel closest to the middle. Those are going to be a little bit bigger. And then the 1 1/4 ones will go on the side, like so. I like these bright colors. I think this designer series paper is called Life is Happiness. I'm not for Happiness is Life. I can't remember. It's the one that's very bright and pretty and colorful. Okay. All right. So we've got that set and ready to go. So now let's go ahead and do our panels. I'd recommend putting on the layer first before you adhere the panel to your base card. It's just going to be easier. Let's try to hurry this up. Sorry, I didn't want you to have to watch me glue, but it's important that you see the process so that you can follow it or you can refer back to it when you're making your card. I just like this juxtaposition of colors here. So this is pretty in pink and this is shaded spruce. And I just got the color inspiration from the color in the back of the card. This is going to be so pretty when I'm done. Okay, and I've just got one more to go. Thank you for bearing with me. But I just realized one more thing is that before I put this down and I adhere it together, I'm going to adhere my small panels because, like I said, it just makes it easier. Okay, so for this one over here, I'm going to stamp Happy Mother's Day. This is from the Perennial Postage stamp set. Okay, I don't know why this is off a little bit. But there, I try to trim it. A lot of times I'm not straight, but okay. Hopefully, yep, not too bad. And I'm going to use my petunia pop. Or no, I didn't want to use petunia pop here. So I'm going to use my shaded spruce. I like the Happy Mother's Day sentiment from the Perennial one because it's skinny. You know, the other ones are long and then they don't fit. And I did have a flower. I forgot where this one was from, but I wanted to use this flower on the two sides. So I'm just grabbing my sponge here. And I'll put one in the bottom as well. I forgot to mention also that there's one more panel I didn't adhere, and then so I'm going to do it now. So when this folds, it's going to fold like this. So this folds in. It's easier to remember it like that. This folds in. This folds out. Because it's going to fold like this, right? Okay. So you notice this part over here shows. So we're just going to get the designer series paper and we're just going to put it at the edges here. So you see what I mean? If you want to make this bigger, this is 1 and I think 1 1/4, but if you want to make it 1 3/4 to cover the whole thing, you can do that. It's not really going to show. That's why you could get away with using a skinnier paper. But if you're one of those that wants everything to be precise, then cut your paper bigger. Because once everything is folded, you're really just going to see the edges of the paper like that. Okay, and let me get the other piece. And I put it on here. Have you guys had a chance to look at the new catalog? You know, if you don't have the paper copy, you can also look at it online. A lot of really nice things that you can get. Okay, all right. Okay, and then this one is going to go in the middle. Okay, I just want to make sure that that's straight. Hold it down for a second to make sure that it adheres really well. And if you're wondering how it's going to fold, it's going to do the same thing. So you fold in like this, and then you fold out. And then this one, you're going to fold in like, oops, in like this, and then out. I kind of messed the fold a little bit there, but it's okay. Okay. And then before, like I said, it's easier to adhere your panels before you actually put everything together. So I've got my white panel here that I'm going to stamp a sentiment. And I think I put down "You're a True Blessing." I can't remember where I got this one from. I pulled from several stamp sets because, you know, when you make a card, really, you want to make it for the person, and you want to personalize it, right? You want to make it so that it says what you want it to say. So I'm just going to put, I messed up there. Not to worry. Turn it around and let's do it again. Press it down a little bit harder that time. Okay, there you go. And I'm just going to do the same design as I did in the other panel here. Just going to get the flower. And I think what I'm going to do is, this time around, I'll put it in the corner. And I'll put it in the corner. There you go. Oh, I like that. It turned out pretty. So this, when you're going to put your sentiments, it's going to go in the far right panel. If you aren't already a subscriber, a follower, or you haven't liked my page, can you do one or all of the above? I really would appreciate it. And if you are not already subscribed to my newsletter, let me know and I can add you. Okay. All right. And then sorry, I'm sliding down on my chair here to adjust myself. And then the one I'm going to put in the front, I'm going to wait till the end after I put everything together. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. So this is going to go in the middle. Make sure that these are tucked around it. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to fold it down like this. Okay, and you notice this is already at the end, so that means the placement is wrong. So I'm just going to slide it over. I can feel it moving inside so that I can center this in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to get my tearing tape. Because this is holding a lot of panels, I recommend that you use the tearing tape, or you can use the Stampin' Seal Plus. My Stampin' Seal Plus is broken and I don't know where I put my new one. So I'm just going to use my tear and tape. Sometimes when I try to do the refill, it goes a little bit nuts on me, right? It must be something that I'm doing wrong because nobody seems to have that problem but me. So it must be something I'm doing. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently lift this up and I'm going to put my tear and tape. You can either put it on the back of the panel or you can put it on the card base. I'm just going to make sure before I take off the backing here that it's in the right spot. Because then once I take it off, I'm just going to put it down and it should be where I want it to be. Okay, there you go. It's a little bit crooked, but it's okay. Okay, and then now I'm going to do the same thing to the middle panel here because this is going to need tear and tape as well. I'm just doing it by sections, that way I don't mess it up. Okay. And for this one here, because it's the middle panel and it's kind of holding everything else, I'm going to put 2 tear and tape here. This one looks like it's sticking out, so I'll just stick that here. Move the backing. If you are interested, since you guys are kind of watching me do this, okay, wait, let me stop because I want to make sure I tell you this right. Okay, so this is going to go in like this. This is going to go in the middle. And this is going to go like that. I want to make sure that everything is supposed to be where it's supposed to be. All right. So that's adhered. Now I have to do the last piece. So anyways, what I was going to say is that if you're interested in making Father's Day cards, come check out my class. It's going to be on May the 24th from 10 to 12. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to adjust the time. Not 10 to 12. I lied. I have to sing for a funeral, so it's going to be earlier. Probably 9 to 11. I know it's an hour earlier than when I normally have my classes, but one of our choir members, her father passed away, and so she asked us to sing. All right, so there it goes like this. And now I'm going to do the front panel here. And I'm getting this one from, where's the stamp set? I'm getting it from this one, from She's the Greatest. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. So kind of bear with me because I'm winging it here. But I also wanted to use the Happy Hibiscus, right? I'm not sure how much I can use, but we'll see. Oops. I'm glad everything is kind of like at arm's reach, so if I forget something, I just grab it on the spot. Will that fit? Okay. I'm hoping that, because I just grabbed the mini, I hope that it'll fit in the mini cut and emboss machine. Okay. Grab my pad here. And I'm going to use my Memento because I want to use my my blends. There. Okay, and I'm going to color it before I cut it. It's easier because, before I die cut it, because then, there's more places to hold. If I cut this first and then I try to color it, it's going to be too small and my fingers are going to be in the way. I'm not the best colorer, but I'll do my best. This is Petunia Pop, if you're wondering what color this is. I know this is a pretty long video, so thank you for bearing with me. And please, 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 put a comment, because I'd like to see who's out there and I'd like to see what you think. And Trine, if you're watching the live or the replay, this card is for you. My sister is so great. She is a fellow demonstrator and she's one of my strongest supporters. But she's a very different stamper than I am. So sometimes when I'm cutting things, I don't know if you've heard me say it, because I do it a lot. I just say, oh, I'm just going to wing it. I don't measure it. I just eyeball it when I'm cutting it live. And so every time I do that, she cringes, because she's a very precise stamper. Nothing is out of place when she stamps. And her creations are so nice. When she says it's simple, her simple and my simple are not the same simple, because she likes to do, in my opinion, complicated cards, but they turn out so beautifully. Okay. All right. So in addition to having my masculine class on the 24th, we also have our open house. So typically we do an open house every time there's a new catalog. And because we just launched the new annual catalog, we're having an open house to celebrate that. That's on May 31st. And it's going to be at the Sinahanya Mayor's Complex. Now we're back to the room that we normally use, but because our numbers have been growing, that room has we've kind of outgrown it a little bit. So to make sure that everybody is comfortable, we're actually doing 2 sessions. We're doing a morning and an afternoon. So the morning one is going to be from 10 to 12:30. And then the afternoon one is from 2 to 4:30. I hope I didn't misspeak the time. I always have to look it up just to make sure I'm saying the right time. I forgot to do that before I started. But all you have to do is look up at my event page, because it'll have the correct time there. As I get older, I'm sure those of you who are older can relate. I just can't remember stuff the way I used to. Okay, I want the darker color to show up a little bit faster. So I'm going to change the brush strokes. In case you guys don't already know, when you're coloring with the blender marker, don't, and you're doing the thick tip, don't press it down like this, because it's going to mess up your tip. Always go at it from the side. So some people may not be aware of that, and it really messes up your markers. Always have to kind of remind people when they take my class to please, color from the side. Don't color from the top of the tip. Okay. I think that's good enough. All right. So let me grab my machine. And if this doesn't fit, I'll just cut it to make it fit. I really like this stamp set. And for those of us who live in the tropics, it's just perfect for us. Oh yeah, it doesn't fit. So I'm just going to trim this off a little bit. Not to fear. Make sure it matches up, and I'm going to use my trusty washi tape. keep it in place. Hi, Jeanette. Is there a PDF available? There's no PDF, but what I'm going to do is I will put the dimensions. There is a PDF that I got from, what is her name? I just said it earlier. I'm terrible name. Simply Stamp It. Connie Stewart. So she has a PDF of she has a PDF available. So what I can do is I can send you her PDF. That's what I followed. I don't know if I can do a PDF through Messenger. I'll try. But if it doesn't work, just personal message me your email and I can email it to you. Yeah, those PDFs really help. I'm so glad you can watch live. I appreciate the fact that you watch my videos. You know, and I get so thrilled that somebody from Sydney is watching me. I was in Sydney back in 2008. And it was was it July or August? So it was a little bit cold. I absolutely loved it. We had such a great time there. Okay. You're a true blessing. Okay. And there's a stamp I wanted to use. I put it on a block and everything. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm going to do this first and then I'm going to put the flowers around it. Okay, so I'm going to put for the coolest sis. And, okay, I'll put it in my shaded spruce. Oh, this one says sister. I like the fact that we are in the same time zones, right? So you're not watching me from the middle of the night or whatever. It gets tricky when I'm trying to convert stateside times because our times are off big time. Okay. For the coolest sister. So this is going to go in the front. And I'm going to press this down. I can get away with doing this because this is flat. For the other ones, if you try to do it later on, it just gets a little bit trickier and things are in the way. Okay, for the coolest sister, and maybe I could put that there. And maybe that there. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Yeah, okay, that'll work. So I'm just going to put it all in the corner. But I'm not sure how much is going to fit, so that's where it gets a little bit tricky, right? Oh, but it can go on this side too, so it's okay. I hope I didn't overglue it. Okay, good. So if I overglued it, it's going to stick to parts I don't want it to stick to. Okay. And this one will go here. And then if it looks like I need more glue or more, yeah, then I can just add some more later on. Okay. Oh, this turned out so pretty. And then I can just go back and add some more embellishments for it. I have to find it first because I didn't get it out. I'm so bad. Anytime it comes to embellishment, I forget to put it on when I'm live and then I put it on afterwards, right? So this is the card for the coolest sister. It opens up like this. Ta-da! Isn't that so pretty? I love the colors that I chose for this. So pretty. Okay. Now you may be wondering, it pops up, right? So if anything, if you don't like it to pop up, you could just put a belly band around it. Otherwise, when you stick it in the envelope, it'll stay flat, right? And then when they open it up, ta-da, it'll look like that. Love it. Love it, love it. Okay, I wanted to show you something that I did. The first time I made this card, so I did it this way, and I didn't do the side panels here. And I did that intentionally because I wanted to see how it looks like without putting a designer series paper on here. And I think it worked, right? For this card, it worked. I didn't put any sentiment on top, and I just put a flower. So this one opened up, and I put down, "Thank you for always being there for me. Happy Mother's Day." And then you can write the your message on the inside. Okay. And then I have one more to show you. This one used the Bouquet Beautiful Designer Series paper. I put a butterfly here, but it feels empty. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to add something here. I'm not sure what, but more than likely I'm going to have to cut out the sentiment and add it to here. Because if I tried to stamp it on here because the surface underneath is not flat, it's not going to turn out. Okay. And I open it up. You're absolutely amazing. Happy Mother's Day. And again, this is where you can write your message. Right? So you see what I mean? This is not the kind of card that you would make on a normal basis, I think, just because it takes a little bit more cutting, a little bit more time, but it's definitely worth it for the person who's going to receive it, right? So hopefully you give it a chance. And as Jeanette was mentioning, there is a PDF that I received from Connie Stewart. You can look it up on her website, or if you personal message me, then I can email it to you. I'm not sure if I can do it through personal messenger on Facebook. I remember trying before and I couldn't send a document as an attachment, but I'll look again. Maybe things have changed since the last time I was on there. Okay. I think that's it for today. If you are a mother out there, happy Mother's Day. I hope that you are loved and spoiled and you feel at peace on your special day. And if you're a grandma, a nana, an auntie, a sister, a pet mom, and then remembering all the moms who are not there. So whatever category you fit into, I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.